The streets are ghetto. I want to help you get out of them.
Let's take this show on the road. Ish, different day. I be bored out my mind. Hometown, love my place, but while I'm in my prime.
Hey guys, my name is Stella Kittrell, and here today I have some dating tips that will help you boost your confidence in finding your partner. Actually, I firmly believe that your partner will find you because you're the prize. And today I just want to get in some tips and tricks that help me meet my husband and in a partnership that I could not feel could get any better for myself. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Now, the first tip I have for you is going to be a little counterintuitive, and this should really be number 4 or 5 or 6. If you don't take anything else from this video, is you need to date. Go on a date, decide if you like him enough or not, dump him if you don't, keep going if you do. I'm the biggest believer in dating. And it wasn't until I recently, I guess last year, announced I was dating my partner. Someone was like, one thing about Stella is she's going to keep a man. And it really got me thinking. Online, it can be perceived that I always have a man, but there are times in my singleness where I would truly step away from dating altogether and just be with myself and be with God and just be chilling. I think this perception is like this for a reason. One, I am the biggest believer in love. I've always known I was meant to be a wife. I've always known I was going to have a partner. God's told me very much so, like, you were going to be married one day. And I had a lot of faith in that. And so what that looked like for me is I know what God said about me. I know what's for me. Like, I'm going to do anything I can to align myself in that will over my life. And what that looked like is dating a lot of people. And being a hopeless romantic can suck sometimes because you think you have the one, and then you're like, in your heart, you're like, I know this isn't all the way right, but I'm just going to rock with it. And then it would burn and whatever. But I do believe one thing that has helped me meet my husband for factamundo is the fact that I've dated so much. One thing about me, the longer you are with the wrong person, the longer you are with holed up in your house, not getting dressed and going outside to meet people, the longer you swerve people who are interested in you, the longer you play hard to get and block your blessings, the longer it's going to take for you to meet the person actually meant for you. I do believe everything will happen how it's supposed to happen in perfect timing, but I also believe we have a part to play in that. I've been the person, I've seen my closest friends be in these cycles where they're dating the wrong person very casually, and then all of a sudden it gets so serious and now they can't really get out, which you can, but it feels like you can't in that moment. You get stuck in these relationships that don't service you. They're not really what you want, and you don't have the courage to leave. One thing about me too is, like, I've done a lot of the breaking up in my life, and the reason that's happened is because I know myself, I know my worth, and I know there's someone out there for me. And so I'm going to leave if something's not servicing me. Once a woman can own that part of her, know what she deserves, know what she's worth, know what she wants, and sticks to that, then I feel like that's when you truly have the best chance to win. And your winning may not look like someone else's winning. Someone's winning could be, I want a man to financially provide for me, but I'm on share 7 and I really don't care about love. Or someone's like, I really want a kingdom spouse. I want who God has for me, and I want to build a kingdom home and be fruitful, multiply, and spread generations. It could look like I just want someone who doesn't have kids and I want us to travel the world together. Everyone's person is going to look different. And I feel like you deciding what you want and being so clear about that, even be corny and writing it down, will propel your dating life. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have this discernment over your life and your dating life when you're like, I just know that will not be a good fit for me. I know this will be a good fit for me. No amount of affection or adoration from someone else is ever going to fulfill that need you have in your heart to be loved the way you want to be loved. And the longer you stay in a situationship, please don't, sis, or a relationship, or even a marriage that doesn't service you, the longer you are delaying the blessing that is for you and over your life. I know this guy's fine and he's taking you on 3 dates, but if he's talking about 50-50 and you don't subscribe, it's time to say bye-bye. The next thing that happened that I feel like really helped me meet my partner is being very specific in what I want. There is a list I've made specific to my desires and needs in a relationship that I feel like I could see myself confidently loving. I remember with an ex I had recently, I remember one day I had this note and I read it to him. And in the moment of reading, we both kind of knew he was not fitting that desire I had in my heart. I had already known the relationship was just not going to work out, but reading that note and being in the presence of someone who should be filling a lot more of those spaces, it kind of just put a light bulb off in my brain, like, what are we actually even doing here? When I moved in with my husband, I had found that note because I keep in like a little memory keepsake box. And in that box, I read the letter and I was like, the only thing that you do not fulfill, really wanted to keep like my Mexican heritage in my family. But hey, that's not how life turned out and that's okay. But that's so materialistic compared to everything else I had asked for in a husband that was going to be with me till the end, was someone who was going to rock through life with me, with the ups, with the downs, from rich or from poor, in sickness and in health. That is so like that was just like a bonus. Like, but being very specific in what you want. A big thing of that though is like just being bold enough to write it down, even if it feels crazy. You gotta write down your wildest dreams. Like, what do I actually want? And from your lips to God ears, it'll happen. The next thing is like, how do you meet people? For me, I had a really tough transition. It was 2 years ago. I decided to give up dating apps completely. I knew they weren't good. In 2020, I had my first like bout of no more dating apps just to test the water. And unironically, the beginning of 2020, it was January, my New Year's resolution was get off dating apps. They are no good for you. I'm only going to meet people in real life. I had about a solid 3 months of that before the world shut down, but it was absolutely perfect. It ignited something in me that was just amazing. I tended to be shyer in person. Maybe not shyer, but I would do this thing where I would play really hard to get, but in reality, I wasn't confident enough to be approachable. When I had made that commitment to myself where I'm not allowed to date online anymore, I have to meet someone in person, it pushed me to look at my surroundings and see the people who were looking at me and maybe be a little bit more flirtatious or walk up to a bar with someone where someone I thought was cute was standing there and just letting them know I have interest too, or smiling back or being approachable. This changed the game. Obviously, the world shut down and, I dabbled back online for a second, but when the world kind of started opening up again, it was remaining this open. If you're familiar at all with my story, I met my husband at a singles night I wasn't even supposed to be at. And I wasn't even open to singles night at the time. I was super, super, super single. I wasn't dating. I was in this place with God that I have never been before. And my friend just invited me to dinner and didn't tell me it was a singles night. And if I would have known, I wouldn't have gone because I was so closed off in my heart. I thought it was thirsty. I was doing my own thing. I was single, single, single. Just being open to being open changed so much of not only my perspective, but my dating life. And it put me back out there. And that night, before I even met my husband that night, I was flirting with this guy. I was flirting with this guy. I was flirting. I was getting back into it. Flirting for me is such a big deal because like, it's just fun. It's lighthearted. Like, it shouldn't be as big of a deal as people make it. And that's one conversation I have with one of my really close friends all the time. She's like, you're really good at flirting. I'm like, if I don't flirt, how will someone know I'm interested in them? If I don't show interest, how will someone know? I'm not saying you need to stand out. Even just being open actually to meeting someone will make you more approachable and stand out in a group of women who are maybe too timid or too scared to just put themselves out there. The better you can handle rejection, the better your dating life will be. When you realize you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea and that someone's always going to think you're too this or too that, the moment you can not care, the moment you can realize like that person's just not for you, the faster you will get to the people who are actually interested in you. I feel like just because you meet someone too at a specific time doesn't mean you're going to end up with them at that time. You're just planting seeds.
I actually cannot make this up. Literally today's Bible study when I'm editing the video was the first time I've ever actually read the parable of the sower. It's Matthew 13. What are the odds it would come up the day I have to edit this video? Crazy.
This is something we say as Christians. Even if you're not Christian, it's fine. It's just planting good seeds. When you plant a seed, you can't expect the plant to just grow the same day. For example, like with my husband, we planted a seed and we watered it 2 weeks later, and then it got watered like a month later, and then finally like boom. I'm saying that to say just because you plant a seed today doesn't mean it won't be fruitful tomorrow, but you have to keep planting seeds. Plant. For you don't. There actually is a Bible verse on this, and I'm not that Bible, but there is a Bible verse on like plant all the seeds because you don't know which ones are going to grow. Now, this one, I came with expectation, and I know a lot of people say, well, don't have expectations. Like you'll meet, the person who just gets you. But I feel like a problem we have as women sometimes is we expect our partners to know what we want, how to love us and how to care for us. And there was a really big learning curve that there was a really good man willing to do a lot of things for me. He didn't know me yet. One important thing I did in the beginning was just let him know very clearly things I liked that he did and didn't like. I would make sure to verbalize when I was so happy and in alignment with the way he was choosing to love me. You cannot choose how people are going to love you, but you can help someone understand you by communication. On our first date, he opened my door for me to pick me up. And then we got to the restaurant. I sit in the car and he was like, oh, do you want me to open your door for you? Because he had gotten out the car. And I said, yes, please. I have not touched a door since. And to me, that's like someone showing up how they're willing to love me. He set the precedence. He opened my door for me. But getting at the restaurant, it's like, no, we're going to follow through. Like, I have this level of love I desire for myself and this attentiveness I need in my relationship. And you're already willing to offer it. So it's definitely a two-sided coin. What are they willing to offer and what are you willing to accept? And back to the dating thing. One thing that was very different with my current relationship on our first date is it was so serious because he was so intentional. I had not met someone so intentional about the same desires I had. And the difference is it's not like, oh, we just had the same desires, so we move forward. It's we both had the same desires, but we're also a really good fit for each other. If someone's taking you on a first date to a bar and they're just getting you drunk and they're not really asking you about yourself or what are your dreams, what are your goals, whatever, is it really a good fit? Like if you desire marriage, if you desire something. Next thing I'm going to say too is like your inner circle. Like who are the people around you? Who's in your corner, who's rooting for you and wants to see you succeed. I think your friend's advice should always be taken as a suggestion and not something you have to do. But I feel like your friends are really good moral compasses for you because love makes us do funny things. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I pray that everyone who seeks love finds it. I'm a firm believer that the man finds. I don't want to chase nothing that ain't for me. Aside from that, I really do hope that you guys have the courage and the built stamina to keep going because the streets are ghetto and I don't want anyone in them that doesn't want to be in them. And like I always say, like I genuinely feel like you deserve love and I just really hope you guys get to experience it and break out of your shell, break through to this next phase of your life of just being able to share your awesome life with someone else because most of the things we do in our life are not for ourselves, but they're to inspire others and maybe that other person is your partner. You guys so much for watching. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and I will talk to you guys really soon. Love and light. Bye-bye.
Houston.